Hey guys, this is Inamorta, and this is my Photon wall guide for the Protoss race in StarCraft 2. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to have our 8 probes immediately start farming minerals, and you're going to be pumping out more probes as the video goes on. While these probes are happening, you're going to need to be building pylons, photon cannons, all the good stuff. And it's basically a good strategy to be protected at the very beginning of your game so you can start gathering minerals to make a really large army. If you're wondering why that pro's just running around in circles, I was looking for those rock walls to make sure I was safe. There's my first pylon. I used that because I needed more space for more probes. And there's the second pylon. I put that in that spot because that's a very crucial location on this map. It's good. That pylon is covering the area of the entire alleyway, so you can put a lot of stuff there. That's a really crucial point. This is where our photons are going to be. That little circle right there, and those are coming right after this forge is finished. And I had to make a really weird decision right here. I had to make another nexus right here, and that's for the sole purpose of getting more minerals and gas. I really didn't like the idea of spending that much minerals to make the nexus. It's just that I figured it probably would be more beneficial to get nexus out of that. And there's our first 2 photon cannons. Those are you're gonna be placing a lot of photon cannons right here, probably about 15. So that's about, I don't know, 2,000 minerals, and that's a lot, but I mean, it's really, in this video, you're not going to really see the point in them because this guy was kind of stupid. But it's going to happen, it's going to happen when you're going to need those because people are going to try and bum rush you, and then you have protection there. So I put my first 2 Vespin gas miners, I think I don't remember what they're called, but, and that's because you're going to start needing the gas pretty soon because I'm going to start putting in my gateways so I can start making troops. So what you want to do is put at least two probes on each of the gas mining things for the optimal amount of gas to get, because it's always going to be giving you gas if you have a certain amount. I'm making a lot of probes right here because I need them to start making me minerals. So I'm going to have probably about 15 probes on each of my nexuses. There's a nice little wall of photon cannons right there. Gonna start making my gateways. I'm gonna have about 5 of them at the very end of this. Well, actually not the very end, towards probably about the middle, but I'm gonna end up having 5. After this, I'm gonna make my cybernetics core. And this is so I can start getting my stalkers. The main army that I use is always stalkers, because stalkers are very multi-purpose. They can do the blink ability, which is very useful. They have a lot of damage, and they can be upgraded for their armor, so they can be a defensive unit as well. And they're pretty fast, and they can hit air and ground units, so they're really useful. Now this is our full photon cannon wall. You have about 15. About 12 in front, or about 10 in front, about 5 in back. Now you have these rocks and then your photon cannons, so you're basically double safe. Unless it's an air unit, then you still have your photon cannons. And if you notice, I don't have any kind of combat unit right now except for my photon cannons, and this is because I'm waiting for the research so I can warp them a lot faster. I feel that I'm probably safe with these photon cannons. It might be a little bit better to build more than I have, but I feel safe with these, so I decided to stop. I'm starting to make my robotics facility so I can get my warp. Oh, this is what he is doing. I couldn't see this because I was too lazy to send over a pro, but he's just building buildings. He doesn't have any combat units also. So I'm starting to build my warp prism, and for some reason in Immortal, I don't remember why I did that. I've never wasted any money on Immortals before. So there's my warp prism. I'm gonna send him over to the top part of the map where my enemy is at. So just so I could kind of scope it out, see where a good place to drop off some stalkers would be. And I finished my research so I can actually use my warp gates now to warp them over to my warp prism. And there's my random immortal. I don't know why I picked that, but I did. So now this is the part of the video where I basically are going to have a ton of stalkers coming out constantly, just constantly warping in stalkers. Once the first one comes out, it's just stalkers, stalker, stalker after that. So, that's basically how it's going to roll, and then a big part of this strategy, actually the biggest part of this strategy, is the mothership. You will need a mothership for the strategy to work, or at least like 5 warp prisms. It is a lot easier to use the mothership. It is actually astronomically easier to use the mothership. As you can see, this attack is going to fail in the most astronomically horrible way ever. I do absolutely nearly nothing to this guy, and then I do another attack and it's even worse. I don't do anything at all. So I figured that I could just do this to kind of scare him a little bit, put a little bit of pressure, tell him that I can attack him from across the map without using any kind of effort at all. So I'll leave my warp prism there for a second, and then I'm going to bring him back and put in a couple more just to kind of keep up the general pressure. And he's going to start building a lot of turrets around here because he knows that I can do this, so he's going to start building turrets around this side, but not the other side, and I'm going to exploit this in a little bit. As you can see, I've still got I'm getting a lot of minerals and a pretty good amount of Vespin on the other side. Now, once my fleet beacon is finished in a couple of seconds, I'm gonna have... Oh, there's a mothership. Never mind, I lied. So, I'm gonna take my mothership over there, and this mothership is kind of like a little bit of a decoy. Because this mothership is going to die, because I kind of use it in a stupid way, and like, it started shooting those, and I just let him know where I was instead of going a wide route and him not knowing who I am. And then he starts building a turret right here, and this turret just destroys my mothership's health. It's just horrible, and it's right there, and I just couldn't. I mean, like, it was horrible. Like, it took like half my mothership down. It was really beefy turret, and I didn't notice it because I was building stalkers on the other side of the map until it was already built, and then I was like, oh Jesus. So I destroyed it, but it just took huge chunks out of my mothership, so I was like, okay, well, I might as well just try and beam in a little bit of stalkers. So I'm gonna try and move my mothership in here in a couple seconds, and then we're gonna try and get some stalkers in here, but he builds another turret right there, and he brings all of his units over here, so it's gonna be really difficult to get any kind of pressure in on this side. And I'm gonna start building some more stalkers over here just so I can keep up my my army. And there goes the mothership right up there. So then I'm gonna do that. It's gonna start attacking. It's gonna take out that turret and then blow up before I can do anything. So I just managed to wasted maybe a couple of seconds of time. So now I'm gonna I accidentally beamed him some zealots instead of some stalkers, which is not that good. I mean, you can beat people with a 100 million zealot army, but it's just not that fun. So I moved all of my probes over to the other side because those mineral fields were basically out, so I figured it'd save a little bit of time. And now my warp prism was just destroyed. I don't know why I didn't call it back. It just kind of blew up. So at this point, I'm thinking he's bringing in air units so that he could take out my motherships and warp prism. So I'm building another mothership right now, and it's gonna be done in about a second. And I'm gonna warp in a lot more stalkers. Now this is where I exploit this guy's idiocracy. I'm gonna move the my mothership to the side of his defenses that have no defenses. Basically, his camp has only defenses on the left side of his bases, and he doesn't have any units. He has maybe one turret and like 3 marines on that side. So I'm gonna bring it over here, and this is where the fun part comes in. All of this army is gonna be in his base in like 5 seconds. So check this out. I blow up that little building, and then right here, big attack right there. See it? And then he's probably flipping out right now, like, oh my god, what just happened? and I just took out every single one of his vehicles. I lost my Immortal and a Z-Lot and my mothership, which is nothing. And now he's going to make a little effort to move his base away, which isn't going to work because I'm going to end up destroying it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And at this point, he had two other bases on the other side of the map, just because I think he was trying to make a lot of minerals and cause me some trouble. But he didn't get any armories or barracks or whatever at all over there, so he basically had just a base over there, so he couldn't really do anything. And plus, I was about to head over to destroy the other things, so it didn't really matter at all. He was pretty much screwed, and he knew this, so he left. So this is a pretty neat strategy. I enjoy it a lot. I just found it about 3 hours ago, and I decided I wanted to show you guys. So I hope you guys have some fun with it, and if you want to comment, ask me some questions, I'm always open, so I'll see you guys later.